지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
안녕하세요. 영화배우 김민재입니다. 마약 시작하면 끝입니다.
너도 시작해볼래? 정말 끝내준대.
집중이 잘 안 돼? 이거 하나면 끝나.
괜찮아. 뒤끝 없어.
끝난다 끝나.
인생 끝! 마약 시작이 인생 끝입니다. 공익광고협의회.
Coming up next is 인싸의학 Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Inside Out Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. As you reflect on the year, especially, the month of December, is there like a standout word for this year that's the most memorable to you? Well, Oxford has one. I'm talking about Oxford Dictionary. The word rizz is Oxford's word of the year for 2023. Do you have it? Rizz, spelled R-I-Z-Z, means pertaining to someone's ability to attract another person through style, charm, or attractiveness. On social media like TikTok and Insta, the word rizz has more than 36 billion views. It's also frequently used in phrases like rizz god or rizz king to describe a person who is exceedingly charming or persuasive. So question for you, got rizz? 'Cause I got none of it.
아는 사람 없네 지루해 앉아있기만 해 bartender 뭘 마셔야 해 그래 그걸로 좀 Cause it's red 음악 바뀌었네 uptempo 그래도 난 여전해 downtempo 술 안 마셔 그냥 색깔이 맘에 들어 골랐어 그때 널 봤어 빨간 스컬 빨간 립스틱 disappoint 넌 저기 서서 너들 보이는 멍청한 여자들과는 달라 I see through you 넌 볼듯 보이지 않아 yeah. 안타까운 때 저라만 봤대 I see through you see through you I see through you see through you 요즘엔 되는 일 하나 없네 내일 또 일하러 가야 돼 bartender 한 잔도 가게 줘봐 여기 크레딧 카드 줄게 친구들에게 한 잔씩 쫙 돌려줘봐 hey hey 한도 초과 그냥 춤 좀 땡기다가 엉뚱한 여자 앵기잖아 적당히 길 좀 부리다가 갈래 밤새는 건 좀 무리잖아 친구는 피해서 몰래 나가다가 어디가 걸렸어 그때 널 봤어 빨간 스컬 빨간 립스틱 disappoint 넌 저기 서서 너들 보이는 멍청한 여자들과는 달라 I see through you 넌 볼듯 보이지 않아 yeah. 안타까운 때 저라만 봤대 오른쪽으로 2보가도 없네 다시 앞으로 3보는 안 보여 머리는 땡땡 코앞하는 마치 퇴근 시간에 뱅뱅 사거리 같아 완전 바그바그 그녀 근처에 와크와크 이상한 기분이야 몸이 가벼운 건 취한 건 아냐 어제 누구야 궁금할 뿐이야 너무 괜찮은 걸 놓치면 후회할 거야 What?
And that was Zion T with Gecko with See Through. Hopefully enjoyed that number. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. This is In싸의학 Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I say everybody like 5 times in that sentence, in that one saying. 모두들 잘 계시죠? 네, 반갑습니다. 환영합니다. In싸의학 Busan. So listeners, you know, every year, towards the end of each year, a lot of like these companies, they like to have like a wrap-up kind of word. A lot of these companies have maybe like top 5, top 10 products that, you know, it was the best selling of that year. Some, you know, businesses might even hold special, I guess, events, special campaigns and promotions to celebrate maybe a product or service that customers found to be, you know, very satisfactory throughout the year. Now, it's not probably, you know, something that is going to wow you, but Oxford University Press, right? I believe this is a company that's behind things like the Oxford Dictionary. They have put out their word of the year. And they do this every year, not just Oxford, but I believe a couple of companies, organizations, authorities on things like languages, especially when it comes to English. They like to add certain words to the dictionary because, you know, when it gets added to the dictionary, it makes it more official. Like it's an actual word. It's not slang anymore. So Oxford University Press did it this year once again. And they have dubbed rizz, spelled R-I-Z-Z, as its word of the year, highlighting the popularity of a term used by Generation Z. So like I said, it started off as slang. 슬랭으로 시작한 단어인데 it's been used so much, not only by the younger generation, it's been hashtagged so many times on social media. People are using it in terms of their content. I've heard it a couple times on like TV shows. So it's a very popular word that started off as slang. So it's spelled once again R-I-Z-Z. 도대체 이 단어는 무슨 뜻입니까? Because I'm sure for a lot of you, this is the first time of you hearing about it. Well, rizz describes a person's ability to attract or seduce another person. 이성을 끌어당기는 매력을 rizz라고 합니다. So I believe it's a noun, but sometimes I heard it used as a verb too, right? Oh, like, you know, I got rizzed, or I'm rizzing. So once again, like you could tell, I do not use this word often in my, you know, regular talk, regular speech. So rizz is believed to come from the middle of the word charisma. charisma에서 들리죠? The charisma spelled C-H-A-R-I-S-M-A. 그 R-I-S가 rizz 소리가 나잖아요. So, like I said, it could be used as a verb too, as rizz up, or basically to chat somebody up, to make them kind of swoon over you. You know, when like, let's say, people, when they twirl their hair, when they're talking to you, or, you know, people when they laugh loudly at your jokes. Have you noticed that maybe if this is the reaction that you get from people, you might be seen as a person that's particularly good at chatting people up. 그러면 then you are considered to have rizz. So the UK publication, Oxford University Press, says that the popularity of rizz skyrocketed this year, peaking in the month of June due to an interview with Spider-Man star Tom Holland. So the young actor was asked by media what the secret to his rizz was, and he applied, "I have no rizz whatsoever. I have limited rizz." So Tom Holland knew what the word rizz meant. And his answer was a very like Tom Holland, very Peter Parker, Spider-Man answer. Now, while the Oxford University Press dubs it as that, Merriam-Webster's word of the year is very different. Okay, their word of the year was authentic, 진짜예. Rizz was actually under consideration for word of the year with Merriam-Webster's dictionary as well. So rizz, a very popular word. 그래서 now you know. If you were to look on social media, posts, videos of people using the word rizz, now you know what it means. 근데 여러분, I want to ask you a question. Do you have a word that you would consider like word of the year? 안 그러면 what's the word that you found yourself saying the most often this year? 여러분이 자주 썼던 올해의 단어는 무엇입니까? Is it, it could be like simple words. Thank you, or OMG, or 피곤해, right? I'll tell you my word of the year later on, and especially the parents out there, I'm sure can relate to what I have to share with you. But let me know, what word have you found yourself saying most often this year? 여러분이 자주 썼던 올해 단어는 무엇입니까? Let us know. pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 100 won. You could chat with us on our Kakao Talk, or you could log into our YouTube. Search for BEFM in the YouTube search whatever window that you call it. Click on, I believe, our channel. And if you go into the live section, you'll be able to hang out with us on YouTube. You could chat with us over there as well. All right, so I'll be waiting for your messages. Let's get to today's News Bites. Time for the Tuesday evening edition of News Bites. And for that, as always, we have BFM newscaster Kate Shin with us here in the studio. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
And good evening to you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good evening to you too.
Of course. All right, so lots to get to. And it looks like our first bit of news is going to be on the economy, which is something that directly affects us, right?
Yes, it does.
So fill us in on this.
So consumer prices are slow to 3% for 4 months in a row. However, agricultural products are up by 13.6%.
Okay.
So, Statistics Korea said consumer prices rose 3.3% last month from the same month a year ago. Consumer prices continue to rise in the 3% range for the fourth month, following 3.4 in August, 3.7 in September, and 3.8 in October.
Okay.
However, the rise, which had risen to the late 3% range, turned to a decline for the first time in 4 months.
Okay.
Consumer prices fell 0.5% in November compared to October. A 5.1% drop in oil prices had a major impact. But on the other hand, apples, tomatoes, and rice rose to 13.6%.
Okay. So with these numbers, I think probably a lot of listeners, if you go to the grocery stores and you buy apples, tomatoes, and rice, I'm sure you've noticed in the prices, 13.6%, that's a pretty significant rise in prices. That's got to be definitely up there in terms of big increases. So what is our country's government kind of getting ready for, anticipating in the coming months?
So Deputy Prime Minister Chu Kyung-ho of Ministry of Economy and Finance noted a significant drop in consumer price growth for November, attributing it to decreased gasoline prices and stabilized international oil prices since October. He anticipates continued price stability, barring unforeseen external shocks.
Okay.
To address persistently high prices of certain agricultural products, support measures will be intensified, including an extension of discounts and refunds for onnuri gift certificates until year-end using reserve funds. Also, the avian flu or the influenza, the AI spread could affect chicken and egg prices.
That's right.
A case of AI in wild birds was reported in Korea last month, with a confirmed case on a poultry farm the day before.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a person that often drives, because, I have to go to and from like opposite ends of the city sometimes, I am enjoying a drop in gasoline prices. But then with these types of drops, I'm sure you see increases in other places. But that's the current situation when it comes to consumer prices. Thank you so much for that update. What's next?
So the health code reemerges due to the spread of mycoplasma pneumonia in China.
Okay.
And because of that, Shanghai Airport resumes COVID-19 testing.
Okay, so tell us about this.
So respiratory diseases like mycoplasma pneumonia are reportedly spreading in China. The health code symbolizing 3 years of zero COVID has reappeared in some regions, including Sichuan and Guangdong provinces, according to Radio Free Asia.
Okay.
The health code was previously abolished in December 2022, but is now being revived due to concerns about disease spread. Authorities are censoring articles discussing the revival. But at the same time, there are reports of COVID-19 testing resuming in some areas, fueling fears of potential lockdown.
Oh, okay.
Public opinion is divided with skepticism about the government's transparency, especially regarding the origin of the current respiratory disease, and trust in Chinese vaccines after past health scandals. On the other hand, Shanghai Pudong International Airport has resumed COVID-19 testing for arriving passengers.
Okay, so we're sharing this bit of news that's taking place over in China because this is also something that's affecting travelers from Korea going to and from both countries. As well, the situation here looks like it's kind of similar with children hospitals and their associations responding to mycoplasma pneumonia here in our country as well. So fill us in on this.
So the Korea Children's Hospital Association say that the authorities are responding to mycoplasma pneumonia with complacency. So Korea Children's Hospital Association urged health authorities to address the spreading mycoplasma pneumonia from China, affecting neighboring countries. They emphasized the need for swift action due to the rapid spread of pediatric infectious diseases. Despite concerns, Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency recommended only elevated personal quarantine measures, stating that it's a known pathogen treatable by domestic medical standards.
Good.
The epidemic has saturated pediatric hospitals in major Chinese cities.
Right, so that's what's taking place in China, but this is something that we're also of concern here in Korea. Mycoplasma pneumonia, you hear a lot about just, from probably your neighbors, family and friends, people getting sick, especially their kids getting sick and not recuperating as quickly as usual. It's really bad, the cold/flu / even pneumonia that's going around these days. So everybody, do consider that. We have time for our last bit of news. We're going international this time, right?
Yes, the Israeli forces are intensifying the attack in southern Gaza with cutting communication lines at the moment.
All right, tell us about this.
So Israeli troops advanced towards southern Gaza, deploying ground forces to Deir al-Bala, approximately 5 kilometers from the center of Khan Yunis. The military, having occupied the northern region, signals an imminent offense in the southern area, raising concerns for Palestinian refugees. Reported by the New York Times on the 4th local time, satellite images at 9 a.m. confirmed the troop movement. On the same day, the Israeli military advised residents of Khan Yunis to evacuate to Rafah, the southernmost city of Gaza bordering Egypt. Local news agency Paltel says mobile communication and internet were cut across Gaza as Israel cut off major communication lines, which is also pointed out as a sign of massive offense.
Okay, so the current situation over there with the conflict, attacks, violence intensifying, you say. Paints a picture of the situation right now over there.
So, Israel, which is at war with the aim of sweeping Palestinian militant Hamas, has admitted civilian damage, saying that 2 civilians per Hamas member have been killed in Gaza. Associated Foreign Press reported on the 4th local time.
Okay, so, that's devastating to hear that not only is the violence picking back up, but it's intensifying, as you say. Thank you so much for this update. I do think the international community needs to be in the know, continue to be in the know of what's going on over there. Kate, thank you so much for all the headline-making news that you've covered for us today. You have yourself a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick song break. This is Jamiroquai with Too Young to Die.
No, we're too young to die, too young to die. So many people all around the world, yeah, all around the world, have seen their brothers fry. I've seen your brother fry. What's the motive? And that madness, oh, I wish I knew. You made my people cry. You made my people cry. So politicians, at this time, I think you better keep your distance. Say it loud. We're too young to politicians reassure. Cause here I am presuming that nobody wants a war. There's so many people praying just to find out if they stand. But lately state-linked governments and disillusioned leaders, so full of empty promises, but rarely do they feed us. But our backs against the wall, our door we can't at all. Can't you decide? Are you mesmerized? Do you know which side you're standing? Cause when it falls, don't take us all. Gotta know what we're demanding. I never lie, can't you hear the cry coming from on high? We're too young to die.
A bit of Jamiroquai. Hope you enjoyed that number. Welcome, everybody. This is our number one of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Let's see what the weather is looking like, as well as the traffic. Currently here in Busan, we're averaging 11 degrees. tomorrow, the warming trend will continue after mild start. After pretty mild highs, it's going to be affecting, tomorrow afternoon in most parts of Busan. So like I said, with the temperatures going 왔다 갔다, in terms of cold, warm, this is especially a time where, your body and just your overall rhythm can really be thrown off because of the weather. And this is where, things like viruses, colds, sicknesses, and whatnot can creep in. So everybody do take care. 내일은 오늘보다 더 포근하겠습니다. 부산에는 건조주의보도 이어지고 있습니다. So everybody take care. Traffic congestion over on 학장로 from Hakjang Junction going towards Jure Junction. There's also congestion on Suyeonglo from the Yongso Thruway Junction going towards Daenam Junction. Slow-moving traffic on Gwanmundaero from Samlak Interchange going towards Baegang Tunnel. Everybody drive safe, all right? So, Oxford Dictionary, or specifically the publication company behind Oxford Dictionary, the Oxford University Press. Can you not giggle while I'm talking, please? That's going to throw off my whole
Your
thing.
British accent?
Yes. So obviously Haley with us here in the studio.
Hello.
Good evening, Haley.
Good evening.
So Haley, the Oxford University Press, they've dubbed rizz as their word of the year. Do you know what rizz means?
I do now.
Oh, okay. So you're outside paying
Yeah,
attention, right?
yeah.
Be honest. Before hearing the definition, did you know what it meant?
Yes, because
Where?
because I'm young, I'm hip. It's happening. I got rizz.
Well, see, with you just even saying that, right? No.
왜요?
Okay.
왜요?
I got rizz. 맞아요.
내가
그렇게
왜요?
쓰는 거 맞아요.
내가
right?
왜요?
I do
맞잖아요.
agree. I do agree with the young part, but I don't know about
I'm
the-
happening. I'm hip. Hello.
Just the fact that you gotta say that,
Hello.
right? No. But do you find
I know because
네.
Merriam-Webster had it as one of their runner-up.
See, there you go. It's not something that you use in your
No.
everyday,
God, no.
speech.
God no! Spell your words out. It's charisma. I don't. What's wrong with you?
I like it. Charisma. I mean, the word itself. It's not the hardest word, but like even like in the middle, it's not. It's not like something charisma. You're not taking the beginning of it, which like
Would be
the
like
beginning of
chariz-
words and like the ends of words. I do not prefer, even if it's like slang.
I like totes. Totally.
But in the middle,
Oh,
it's something
that's
a little
okay?
different. I don't know why. It's 좀 달라요.
그래요?
Yeah.
왜요?
I don't know. Like I said, you don't. It's not like the beginning couple letters.
그러시다면.
It's not the end, right? It's somewhere in like the
I mean,
middle.
you do you.
Why not? Yeah, exactly. I'ma do me. But rizz is something that I've seen a couple times, on social media. Like I don't use it in my daily speech, but when I first heard it, I was like, this. I thought it was like a bad word at first.
Me too, because it doesn't. The is
Yeah.
what kind of threw
Like
me
the
off.
ZZ at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
that's not what we usually use for a positive connotation word. But hey, rizz.
맞아요. We have a message that came in from Honu Kim-님 on our YouTube saying, rizz Mindy, 요렇게 쓰면 되나요? 멋진 단어네요. So it sounds like you being the young, hip person that you are.
Yeah.
Rizz Mindy, is that the proper way to use the word rizz?
I think rizz Mindy, because rizz would be a noun, right? So I think I would say Mindy. I'm referring Mindy refers to Minsu DJ,
네.
not like Mindy. Okay,
네.
well, Mindy.
접니다.
All right. Like it would be Mindy has rizz.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mindy has rizz.
I don't know, because I think that is more of a noun
Yeah.
than anything.
Well, it's frequently also used in phrases like rizz God or rizz King. So that's more like a
The
describing
king
word.
of rizz, yes.
Yeah, king
yes.
of word, rizz God. So, Honu Kim-님, rizz God, Mindy, or rizz King, Mindy. 이렇게
Or
쓰면 됩니다.
Minsu, rizz, yeah. Like Minsu, rizz, what's your last name?
Shin.
Shin, right? Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, that's right?
Like kind of
Minsu,
like a
rizz,
middle,
Shin.
like middle
Yeah,
slash like
middle
nickname.
name. Yeah.
I like
Rizz
that.
is my middle name.
Yeah, call me Rizz. Rizz Sue from.
싫어요.
네, 하지 마세요. So, listeners, that is the word of the year. Tell me what your word of the year. Real quick, what word or phrase did you find yourself saying the most this year?
Oh, I mean, okay, this because we're on this like young, hip, modern, like new word trend. Delulu is one of my like
Delulu?
favorite. Then this is short for delusional. It's like social media lingo. Don't use it in meetings, but like it's a fun word. Delulu.
So delulu is
Delusional.
like delusional,
Yeah.
like another way to say
Yeah,
delusional,
because
right?
when you say like call me Rizz, I'd be like, you're Delulu.
I like that delulu.
Yeah,
That's kind
and
of cute.
now we sound 18.
One
kinda.
person sounds kinda, right? We try, or
Yeah.
at least Haley tries.
Try real
I
hard.
have given up. So that's Haley's word of the year, delulu. I want to find out from you, listeners. What word do you find yourself using a lot throughout this year? All right, let's get to today's IOB 5분 상식. Time for today's 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간인데요. 민원 처리할 때 어려운 행정용어가 싹 바뀐다고 합니다. 이거 대 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 진짜 짜증나. Excuse me. I need to talk to somebody about all the fallen leaves in front of my house. I have to clean it every day.
네, 안녕하십니까. Typing. Good day, Mr. Minsu. Please have a seat.
네.
How are you today? We're here to assist you in any concerns you may have.
Well, I have a big concern, okay? The leaves from the street trees are making my life very difficult.
Leaves, 가로수, I understand. 네, 고객님 전지 작업이 필요하신 것처럼 보입니다.
네? 전지 작업?
네네.
전지? What's that? 그게 대체 뭡니까?
네, 전지 작업이요. 여기 앞에 소정의 양식에 기입해 주시면 됩니다.
소정의 양식?
네네.
What is that? 소정이라는 사람의 양식 레스토랑 이름인가?
아니요.
Is that like some kind of Western restaurant named by some 소정?
No, just fill out this form, please. 네, 전지 작업을 하시려면 제반 사항들을 미리 확인하셔야 되거든요.
Oh my goodness, what is 전지? 큰 종입니까? Is it a huge paper? You're saying to cover my yard with large sheets of paper to prevent the leaves from piling up? This does not make sense. I just want the leaves cleaned up, please.
네, 저희가 이것만 하시면 도와드릴 거예요. 전지 작업만 하시면 괜찮으실 거니까 please write your address and name in the blank there.
아니, 그러니까 전지 작업이 뭐냐고요? 답답해.
고객님 여기 서류만 작성하시면 되고요. 소정의 양식을 다 채우시고 나면 제반 사항을 검토하신 후 다시 오시면 됩니다. Next.
계속 답답해. 뭐야?
What a horrible person.
You have
Yeah.
no soul. Can you
Yeah.
please make it sound like you care about my situation?
제가 노력은 해보겠지만 어려울 것 같네요. Next.
쳐다보지도 않았습니다. 눈도 안 마주치고요. All right, so City Hall, 시청, as well as community centers, 주민센터, have updated the words that they use, the language they use to address civil complaints. This is supposed to make it easier for people to understand and engage with administrative processes. So, what are some examples? 예를 들면 어떤 걸 말합니까?
So how about I tell you what I just said?
네,
All right.
제발요.
전지 작업 is pruning. It's 가지치기. 소정의 양식 is 정해진 양식. So it's the standard form.
Okay.
제반 사항 is 여러 사항. So just
네.
various issues. Things.
네.
상기 내용, it's like aforementioned things. 네, 위의 내용이죠. 또 마지막으로
네.
적기에 추진한다 혹은 제때 추진한다, 제때 일을 처리한다 이렇게 바뀐다고 합니다. And then words that are used from perspectives of employees, such as 표 파는 곳, because technically I as an employee am selling you tickets, but
Yeah.
you're not, will be 표를 살 수 있는 곳, 혹은 운영 시간, 여권 접수 같은 경우도 표 사는 곳. So they'll change into user-centric expressions like ticket counter, 이용 시간, service hours, 여권 신청, passport application, and so on. So you can understand it more intuitively.
Okay, I understand. So that's something that's, because it's like in my perspective, right? These words. So is that the reason for changing difficult administrative terms? 어려운 행정용어를 바꾸게 된 이유는 뭡니까?
Absolutely. I mean, if you ever try to go to these websites, and I mean, I have to say the 공무원s in person,
Yeah.
they're totally nice. They already mostly use easier words or try to help you through. But if you go to websites, if you look at if you've ever looked at the Constitution, the Criminal Code, whatever, these uncommon, obscure words are still so prevalent.
Yeah.
So the decision was made to replace these Chinese-based, more ancient words to simpler, modern terms and change the expressions to the ones that are more user-centric. Thus, we can understand it, we can get it, we can get things done.
네. 사실, I just got used to. Like the
Korean lingo,
the Korean lingo and the
right?
older words, and now they're changing it again. I'm gonna have to get used to these new words. When does this amendment start then?
Well, hopefully, if all goes well, you won't have to get used to it because these will all be the words that you already know. But anyway, starting in December, the Ministry of Public Administration and Security or Interior and Safety, they will conduct a pilot operation in Daegu in Dalsonggu District and then Gangnam in Seoul, and they will come up with any improvements that need to be made before applying it nationwide.
Okay. Well, please make it easier. I do hope that this is going to make things not for people only for me, but just people in general
Right.
find what they need to do, where they need to go, more, streamline it a bit at places like City Hall and the 주민센터, community centers. Okay, so like you said, 전지 작업은 뭐라고 했죠?
가지치기.
네, 소정의 양식은
정해진 양식.
네, 시청이나 주민센터에서 사용하는 어려운 행정용어가 이용자 중심의 쉬운 단어로 바뀐다고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번주에 오신 참인 것 같네.
22번 홀리면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
TMI Busan.
All right, folks, we have Queen TMI. Haley continued to be with us here in the studio for today's TMI Busan. How's it going today?
Pretty good. It was hot today.
맞죠?
진짜 더웠어요, 오늘.
Don't even get me started on the
No.
weather. I find myself complaining more and more. This is like the haja continuing to spew out of me, but I find myself complaining about the weather. It's this is not like the December like it used to be,
Back in
Latte
my
Maria,
day.
right? Back in the olden days. But it's like this 왔다 갔다, this warm, cold that's really throwing me off.
Because definitely I went jogging in the middle of the day.
Oh, nice. And you started this not too long ago,
I did.
right?
I think I filled an entire month. I'm
Good
looking at my
job.
running app. So yeah, I'm on week 5. I'm starting week 6-ish.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was 3 p.m. Sweating.
맞아요.
Sweating. Yeah,
So everybody, the weather's going to really throw you off. So dress in layers.
Yeah,
You gotta
definitely.
Take off and put on when you need to, okay? All right, TMI Busan. Let's get into it. What TMI do you have for us today?
All right, speaking of running and things, do you work out?
I mean, look at this physique, Haley.
Do you
Do
work
you
out?
even need to ask? No, I don't. I do not. I mean, I exercise, but not workout.
You don't go
workout.
to the gym, right?
Yeah.
Because gyms they're a commitment.
They are.
And, they're work.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes,
And we're full of excuses. Yeah.
My wife has membership, and she goes.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, but you miss a day, and they text message you right
Do
away.
they really?
고객님,
Okay, so there's
오늘 안
so
왔네요.
much. Oh my God! It's like, how do you even know me? But there's so much like 부담. There's so much pressure into going to a gym. I mean, we shouldn't. They're all nice people, but hey, I'm just gonna put pressure on myself. Whatever. So unmanned 무인 gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been kind of popular. I mean, 무인 anything. We're talking about unmanned, the kiosk-based convenience stores, restaurants, and whatnot, applicable to fitness centers
Yeah,
now.
the one my wife goes to, I think there's people during the day, but past like I think 9 p.m., there's nobody there.
All right, well, that's going to be kind of iffy. All right, but good side for business owners. It's a good way to keep costs down
For sure.
because paying someone overtime to stay there throughout 24 hours. And then for customers, it's nice and private. I don't need to put that pressure on myself.
Yeah.
So we've been seeing a surge in popularity of these unmanned fitness centers. And then they're cheaper, of course, for consumers because you pay by the hour. Not your wife gym per se, but the 무인 fitness centers. They're about 6,000 to 8,000 won per hour.
That's not
so if you
bad.
just want to go try things, it sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Except, they're illegal.
Oh.
Yeah. So under the current law, the law on sports facilities for all for-profit fitness centers, so any fitness center, it must have a licensed trainer or guide on duty
Oh,
at
yeah.
all times.
That's
because,
important.
I mean, you're lifting tens of kilograms of stuff.
Yeah.
Dumbbells, barbells, whatever. So the thing is, the owners of these unmanned centers argue that they have surveillance cameras and staff at the ready to go if needed be. But the thing is, if you drop a barbell on your chest
Yeah.
and the staff is like 2
맞아.
kilometers away, like what's going to happen?
And like you're the only person there.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, that is illegal. So, the Culture, Sports, and Tourism Ministry says that unless there's a trainer on duty to immediately respond to the emergencies, the fitness centers can get fined. So, even the 24-hour centers that are really common, unless they do have a trainer like in person at all times, they may get fined.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Hopefully I
keep that
didn't
in
rat
mind.
out. Hopefully I didn't rat out my wife's gym
No,
just
I mean,
now.
we don't know where your wife works out, but
Yeah.
this is a good public service announcement. I mean, the thing is, laws don't get made to cover everything from the get-go.
Yeah.
Things emerge. Things happen, and laws kind of retroactively go in and try to rectify
Yeah.
the problem. So I
맞아요.
think we're in that process now.
Good to know. So, 무인 or unmanned businesses, very trendy these days. But when it comes to gyms, unmanned gyms, illegal.
All right.
Good to know. What's next?
Speaking of illegal things, motorcycles and any cars that are speeding, we've all done this. There's a speeding camera and it says 시속 50km입니다. And it's like ding, ding, ding. You kind of slow down.
Yeah.
And you pass the camera. And then,
Yeah.
not me. Never me. Never me. No,
Sure.
no, I'm just law-abiding citizen.
Of course.
Well, you can't do that anymore.
Oh.
Because there are rear-facing cameras.
Ah.
That can take pictures of your vehicle
Yeah.
and most importantly, motorcycles from the back. I mean, we've been seeing countless complaints and worse accidents involving motorcycles. A lot
Yeah.
of them speed, a lot of them run red lights. We've all seen it because that's just how the delivery system works. They're getting paid for their time. And the thing is, motorcycles legally only have the license plates on the back of the vehicle, not the front. So 99% of the speeding cameras have front-facing cameras. So we can't catch the motorcycles. Well, now in Busan, there are 12 rear-facing traffic cams throughout the city. So, and then it's also for other vehicles, cars too. If you just pass the speeding camera and speed out, they're going to be able to catch you as well. So they use AI-based video analysis technology to read the license plates. So check for any traffic violations. These are, I'm not going to tell you what, they haven't released the information specifically, but there are 3 cameras in 동래, 2 spots near 경성대 in Namgu, 1 each in 해운대, 금정, 연제, 강서, 부산진, 북구 districts, and Gijang County. So be careful. I mean, always abide the law. They're there
맞아요.
for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's happening, and they're gonna install more next year. So
네.
yeah, rear-facing cameras.
Good to know. Don't just pretend like you are abiding, the laws or
Yeah.
traffic laws. Okay.
Yeah,
They
Minsu.
Why? Yeah, Minsu. I follow all the rules on
We all
the
do.
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, at least everybody here in the studio right now can't say it for everybody outside. What's next?
All right. Speaking of traffic and the more egregious, horrible things you can do, drunk driving is one of the worst things you can
yeah.
do as a human, period.
네.
Unfortunately, December and January, year-end events and beginning of year events, we do see a spike in DUIs or driving
맞습니다.
under the influence.
네.
According to Police and Statistics Korea data, December is the time for most common DUI busts. And of course, they lead to accidents and deaths. So throughout the country, including Busan Regional Police, they're holding concentrated crackdowns. And do keep in mind that these will, of course, be around these high-risk popular downtown areas. And then we imagine these DUI busts happen at night. But they're also going to be there during the daytime, too, because hungover driving is also a thing. In Korea, the legal limit is 0.03. That is one beer. I mean, depending on your body weight,
Yeah.
but that is a very little amount of alcohol that's permitted. If you drink heavily from the night before, that 0.03 will still be in your bloodstream come the morning of.
네.
And that can hinder your judgment. So there will be police officers doing random checks during the daytime and in
Good.
the morning. So
Good.
if you did drink, don't drive even the morning after.
Yeah.
And for everyone else, if you see a vehicle that you suspect, okay, that person's been, riding on the midline for a while, that person's driving really erratically,
Yeah.
call 112. Remember the
제발.
license plate, immediately call 112
Yeah.
and tell them. Because the worst that can happen, that person wasn't driving. Maybe it was sleepy driving or just, beginner driver. But still better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Drunk driving, driving under the influence of anything is something that, like Haley said, I definitely don't agree with.
No.
I think they should throw everything at, people that are caught drunk driving, because you're not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting everybody else
This ruins
that
lives.
you're coming to
This ruins
on the roads.
just lives. So please don't.
맞습니다. We have time for one more bit of TMI.
All right, here's a fun one.
네.
Do you have New Year's Eve plans?
Oh, I don't even have plans for tomorrow. Okay.
Well, if you want to put this down in your calendar,
네.
do. The 광안리 drone show
Okay.
will have a huge New Year's countdown ceremony
Oh,
on
okay.
Gangnam Beach. So this
That's right
is going
by
to be
my house.
a record break. Hey, there you go. Just pop out. They're going to use 2,000 drones, the biggest drone show in the country. Next year of the Blue Dragon that'll be rising in the sky, delivering a message of hopes for New Year. If you're looking for something more fun during Christmas time, let's see. The Hyundai Light Show is going on. Today's the
그쵸.
5th right now. And then this coming Friday is the 광복로, the
Yeah.
the 남포동 중구 Tree Festival. So
네.
that's also going on as well. So
Yeah.
and then I think 서면's also doing a light festival. So lots of festivities to be had.
Nice. So
Tis the
lots to do.
season.
Tis the season indeed. So lots to do, lots to see here in our city of Busan. Now I get to pick and choose what I want to do for New Year's Eve. Thank you for giving me those options. Haley, real quick, we have a message that came in from 배용건님 saying, ooh, I like this change. I think he's referring to the change
The
of
5분
the
상식, right?
words,
Yeah,
right?
easier administrative terms.
Yeah, well, 홍건님, it's because you're already smart, right? And you just find yourself really, just right off the bat, oh, these words are so simple. Now, people like me, now that I just got used to the old words, now I gotta learn the new words again, okay? But I do like the change. I
Yes.
think it's going to streamline, like I said, a lot of the services. All right, Haley, that will do it for today's TMI Busan. You have yourself a good week. Try to stay warm and
Cool at the same time.
At the same time, right? With this weather. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Bye-bye.
All right, listeners, that will do it for hour number 1. To take us out, this is Primary with Mannequin. I'll see you back here at 7.
애써 눈부신 가루 속에 넌 모두의 눈길을 훔친 lady 넌 완벽해 긴발이 잘락한 네 허리 질투를 부르는 새까만 눈이 쑤시 난 조금 두려해 잊혀진 듯해. Yeah, I'm on it again, I'm on it again. 너를 원해 with your style. Follow you, that I am on the girl, no one there. I'm on it again, I'm on it again. wanna miss you, oh, 모두 다 원해.
Check it out, yeah, yo. 넌 너무 매니킨 같아 데이트를 할 땐 200만 원을 입은 안에 지불하게 하네 I go broke but girl I'm okay with it 그래야만 너는 만족해 Money and the fame 넌 그런 걸 원해 난 그런 널 원해서 너를 유명하게 하네 I'm in trouble but girl I'm okay with it 난 만족해 네 몸에 와네 얼굴에
넌 마치 디스플레이 맘 내킨 값비싼 새 옷들만 내킨 근데 넌 왜 향기가 없는 걸 난 너무 friendly 잘 입힌 맘 내킨 너도 나도 hot lipstick 똑같이 왜 One, two, step forward 네가 지나가 이 길은 runway 같아 yeah. 이 순간 내 눈도 네 뒤를 쫓는가 난 잠시 뒤처진 듯해 Yeah, I'm on it again, I'm on it again 너를 원해 with your style Follow you, that I am on your girl, no one there I'm on it again wanna miss you, oh 모두 다 원하는 One, two, three, so many on the street 4, 5, 6, and the man named cages Yeah, walking down the street 시크하게 바보같이
We are
The Firefighter Duo.
Winter is so dry. Let's prevent fire by keeping these 3 rules. If you take caution, you can prevent a fire.
The #1 cause of fire in winter are electric blankets. Take special caution with highly flammable materials such as memory foam, toppers, and bedding.
Number 2, having too many appliances on the power outlet is dangerous. Always unplug all the appliances that you're not currently using.
Number 3, check the heater is off before leaving the house. Leaving it on for an extended period of time can cause a fire.
Let's all take part in preventing fire and have warm and safe winter this year.
Tune into BEFM 부산영어방송 for an emergency broadcast.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
괜찮아 괜찮아 조금 불편해도 환경을 위해 너무 괜찮아 일회용 컵 대신 머그컵 비닐봉지 대신 에코백 물티슈 대신 손수건 우리의 실천 하나하나 모여 세상을 바꿔요 깨끗한 세상 플라스틱 제로 일회용품 제로 함께해서 참 좋은 우리의 시민
이 캠페인은 부산환경공단이 함께합니다.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
Inside Out Busan.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이더 부산.
인사이다 부산 인사이다 부산
Welcome back, everybody. This is hour number 2 of Inside Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 환영합니다. 반갑습니다. I do hope everybody's having a lovely Tuesday evening. Take care of yourself, okay? Like I mentioned in the first hour, like Haley mentioned before she left, it's a warm winter we're having. I'm sure, we'll have like full-on winter in the coming days/weeks, but I don't want anybody out there to catch a cold. There's even, pneumonia scares happening right now here in Korea. So take care, 여러분. Dress in layers, take off and put on when you need to. All right? It's hour number 2. We're going to kick things off with On the Mic. This is a segment where we get to share the stories of you, the citizens of Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
안녕하세요, 제니입니다. 네, 여러분, 오늘은 공연 기획자로 활동하고 계신 김용호 선생님 모시고 인터뷰 진행해 보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. 우리 선생님께서는 어떤 계기로 처음 이 공연 기획을 시작하게 되셨나요?
학부생 1학년 때
네.
좀 유명 팀의 국악 공연을 봤는데요.
네.
그 공연이 너무 인상 깊어가지고 나도 저런 공연을 한번 만들어 보고 싶다 해가지고 공연 기획 쪽을 공부하게 되다가 지금은 본격적으로 기획을 하고 있습니다.
그렇군요. 처음에 되게 유명한 국악팀의 공연을 봤다가 너무 멋있다고 생각이 되고 나도 저런 무대를 혹은 공연을 한번 기획해보고 싶다라는 생각을 통해서 지금 이렇게 기획자로 성장을 하게 되셨군요. 네, 좋습니다. 그렇다면요. 이 공연 기획이라고 하면 사실 이해가 조금 어려우신 청취자분들도 계실 수 있을 것 같아요. 공연 기획자는 보통 어떤 업무를 하는 건가요?
공연 기획자는 말 그대로 공연을 만드는 일을 하는 겁니다. 제 머릿속에 있는 제가 관객들에게 전달하고 싶은 공연의 내용을 그대로 만드는, 표현하는 일을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 공연이 어떻게 진행되는지 모든 것을 관장하는 일이라고 보시면 될 것 같습니다.
아, 그렇군요. 그러면 하나의 공연을 만드는 사람이라고 조금 쉽게 표현을 할 수 있을 것 같은데요. 그렇다면 정말 지금까지 많은 공연들을 좀 기획을 하셨을 것 같아요. 이런 공연을 기획하시면서 가장 인상 깊었던 어떤 에피소드나 일이 있다면 그게 무엇일까요?
기획을 할 때는 보통 관객의 호응이 저를 좀 뿌듯하게 하는데요.
그쵸.
관객에 따라서 그런데 얼마 전에 초등학교 공연을 기획한 적이 있는데 그때 초등학생들이 제가 이때까지 했던 기획 공연 중에 가장 반응을 잘해줘가지고 호응도 좋고 떼창을 부르기도 하고 그래서 너무 그 부분이 인상 깊고 굉장히 뿌듯했고 그래서 앞으로 초등학교, 중학교 공연도 한번 좀 많이 기획해볼 예정입니다.
아, 그러시군요. 역시 다양한 곳으로도 공연을 많이 다니시는 것 같은데 초등학교 공연에서 초등학생들의 어떤 떼창이라고 하죠. 다 같이 노래를 불러줬을 때 이런 호응도에 있어서 굉장히 많이 힘을 또 얻으시고 뿌듯함을 느끼셨던 것 같습니다. 그렇다면 이 공연 기획을 주로 하시면서 힘들 때와 또 보람을 느낄 만한 그런 순간들이 있을 것 같은데 어떤 순간 좀 그런 것들을 많이 느끼시나요?
말씀드렸던 대로 관객들이 좋아하냐, 관객들이 호응하고 환호하고 아니면 진짜 우러러 나오는 우와 이런 걸 들으면은 너무 행복하고 그래서 기획하고 완성했을 때 그 대상들한테 관객들한테 어떻게 전달되냐 그걸로 뿌듯함이 결정나는 것 같습니다. 그리고 기획할 때 가장 힘들었던 거는 써야 할 기획서가 많은데 기한이 얼마 남지 않았을 때 그때는 물론 기획하는 것도 즐겁지만 많이 해야 될 때는 굉장히 촉박하게 해야 될 때는 굉장히 힘든 것 같습니다.
그렇죠. 모두에게 적용되는 이야기인 것 같은데 내가 해야 할 일은 너무 많고 근데 그거에 비해 마감 기한이 임박해져서 시간이 너무 없을 때는 늘 모두가 그렇듯 스트레스도 받고 힘들 것 같습니다. 그렇다면요. 이제 저희의 마지막 질문이 될 텐데요. 우리 선생님께서는 어떤 기획자로 대중들에게 기억에 남길 원하시나요?
공연을 재미있게 또 보고 싶게 기획하는 기획자가 되고 싶습니다.
그 공연이 재미있어서 또다시 이 공연을 보고 싶다라고 느끼는 어떤 그런 공연 기획자가 되고 싶으시군요. 네, 맞습니다. 사실 공연이라고 하면 어떤 분들에게는 다가가기 힘든 어떤 분야일 수도 있는데 그런 분들에게까지 김용호 선생님께서 기획하시는 그 모든 공연들이 닿아서 그분들조차도 아, 이런 공연이라면 또 보고 싶다라고 느낄 수 있도록 좋은 공연 많이 만들어주시면 감사하겠습니다. 앞으로도 늘 화이팅 하시기 바라겠습니다. 오늘 인터뷰 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
A big thank you to our reporter Jenny and her lovely conversation with today's on the mic interviewee, Mr. Kim Yong-ho, who is an event planner, right? He mentioned after being so moved, so impressed by a performance of a famous traditional Korean music group, that is when he decided to study event planning. Now, event planning can be a variety of things. You could help plan and organize, sometimes even direct, like performances, music performances, theater, musicals, and whatnot, as well as just events in general. He says that as an event planner, it's somebody, like he gave the definition, who creates a performance. And not just that, you don't just set up the event, you also have to convey the thoughts of the event creators, whether it be the director or the producers. The event planners also help convey the thoughts directly through the performance, through the event, and through the stage. He mentioned, his work, it's not the easiest, but he gains a sense of pride as well as a lot of encouragement and strength from the work that he does when he gets that warm reception and those reactions from the audiences. However, he also mentioned the stress that comes with it because he has to plan so many performances, especially when the time is tight. 일이 많은 건 좋긴 좋은데요. 그렇죠? 많을 때 스트레스 받고 힘들고 그렇죠. Lastly, he expressed a desire to become an event planner, and a planner who creates performances that are so entertaining that people want to see them again and again. I don't recall maybe like a performance, whether it be a play, musical, actually maybe a concert that, like a couple concert, maybe I can recall in my life that I wanted to go, man, I want to see this concert again. And I did. Me and a couple of my college buddies went to a couple of concerts put on by the rock band Foo Fighters. 몇 개 갔지? 5개 갔나? 6개 갔나? I went to like 5 or 6 of their concerts. This is all through my college years. So that's something that kind of like moved me to watch again. Here in Korea, I've been to a couple of these concerts put on by Brown Eyed Soul, which is a Korean R&B group. So like music-wise, yeah, those are like two performances that I was so moved that I want to watch them again and again, right? But obviously, Mr. Kim Yong-ho, with this ambition to become an event planner, to be renowned as somebody that puts on a quality show, a show that you know you're going to be entertained, a show that you know you're going to be moved by, and that you would want to see again. Mr. Kim Yong-ho, I do believe you are very much on your way with the passion and the dedication that you expressed in today's interview. 꼭 그런 플래너, 공연 계획자가 될 것 같습니다. 확 느낌 나네요, 저는. Thank you so much to you and to reporter Jenny once again for today's On the Mic. We're going to take a quick song break. Speaking of performances, I know this happens to be a favorite amongst a lot of people here in Korea. This is Keela Settle with This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out.
I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the pain sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. That's what we become. I won't let them break me down. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, we are glorious. The sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown the mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown the mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. This is me. I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown. This is me.
And that was Keela Settle with This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. I'll be honest, I have not watched that movie. I've heard so many good things just about the movie and the story and, of course, the songs and performances. Like, I know of that song, but haven't seen the movie. I know it's a movie, right? 영화 맞죠? It's a movie. It's a movie. And I have not seen it yet. So apologies if I sound like, Minsu, he's just pretending like he knows that song. I do. I mean, I know that song. It's a nice song, but I think it would make more sense for me if I saw it in the actual movie. Anyways, I digress. Welcome to the program, everybody. This is Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Minsu Shin. I do hope everybody is having a lovely, nice day. Weather-wise, I don't hear a lot of people complaining these days. Oh, it's too cold. 왜냐면 춥지 않으니까. 그렇죠. Currently, Busan City averaging 11 degrees Celsius. Expecting morning low of 6 degrees and an afternoon high of 17. 계속 high가 올라가네요. Yesterday, I think it was like 16, and now I'm reporting that tomorrow's high is going to be 17. If that high hits 20 degrees, once again, 가만히 못 있을 것 같아요. It's not December. It's not winter if it's hitting 20 degrees. I mean, it's nice, right? It's nice and cool. Maybe even on the warm side if it hits 20 degrees. But it's not winter. 겨울 느낌 안 나잖아요. Mostly partly sunny skies expected tomorrow here in our city. The warming trend is continuing. Also, a dry weather advisory will be in effect in our city tomorrow. 내일 부산은 오늘보다 더 따뜻한 날씨를 보이겠습니다. 그리고 건조하겠습니다. So everybody, do keep that in consideration. Excuse me. When it comes to traffic, let's see. Congestion on Yunsan Tunnel from Haeseongdong going towards Bugok Interchange. There's also congestion on Nam Express from Daejeon Interchange going towards Mandok Interchange. Slow-moving traffic on 중앙대로 from Bugok Junction going towards 소정천 Junction. Everybody, drive safe. 부탁드릴게요. So, word of the year from Oxford Dictionary is rizz. I'm going to ask right away Dr. Liu, who is also patiently waiting for his turn at bat. Dr. Liu, 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요. You caught me off guard. I haven't prepared anything.
It's okay. And I did this on purpose because I do want to catch you off guard. So, Dr. Liu.
Okay.
I'm sure you're in the know of the Oxford Dictionary.
Uh-huh.
Right? The Oxford University Press is the publication company behind the dictionary. Every year, they have this word of the year.
맞아요.
Like a word that people started using a lot, or they also want to add, if it's like a new word, they want to add into their dictionary because so many people use it. This year's word of the year, 검색하는 거 없어요. No, that's cheating. Is rizz. R-I-Z-Z.
What does that mean?
Oh, so I want to ask, I like doing this with I'm not saying you're one of my students, but I like doing this with some of my college students where we would play this game and I would throw like a word to them. And it's a word that I know for sure most of them, if not all of them, haven't heard like of once in their life, or they've never used it in their like English, speech or speaking. So I like to like throw words at them, and it's so fun to hear them try to come up with a definition for that word. So when you hear the word rizz spelled R-I-Z-Z, what do you think that word means? Like what do you kind of like think? What do you think that word means?
Nothing came across. Just
let me give you a definition.
Okay.
Not the definition. Let me give you an example sentence of it and see if that helps you in coming up with a definition for the word. So, maybe a sentence with the word rizz. Maybe. Okay. I rizzed up somebody. I rizzed up somebody at a party.
Oh.
And now I'm going to go on a date with her.
Oh.
네. And be careful when you say the definition. I feel like this is something that could go in the wrong direction.
Okay.
So I rizzed up a person, and now we have our first date tomorrow.
So that word is usually often in a positive connotation way.
I think most of the time it is in a positive connotation. Yes.
Okay. Rizzed up. 뭐 칭찬하다 아니면 flaring, flattered.
Okay.
Yes.
You're going in the right
Really?
direction. 맞아요. So
그래서-
is that your definition of the word rizz? Flattering?
Yes. Yeah, flattering. Yes.
Like flattering to you, or you're flattering somebody else?
Flattering somebody else.
Pretty close.
Yes.
Pretty close. 아마 제 like example sentence가 조금 쉬웠던 것 같아요. So rizz comes from the word charisma.
Oh.
네. 그래서 charisma 생각하면 like what does charisma mean?
Charisma is very like omnipotent, like very powerful and then energetic.
Sure.
And
Charisma doesn't mean also always mean like strength. Charisma,
Strength.
maybe the person's personality, the way the person talks, and how everybody just kind of like, gravitates towards that person, right? So if you are able to do that, you have rizz. rizz가 있는 거예요. charisma가 있다 이 말이죠.
그게 제일 많이 쓴 단어래요?
It's been found to the social media platform TikTok. 거기에 rizz hashtag 많이 쓰잖아요. Rizz was used, like videos with the word rizz, like as like the main thing, 36 billion views of videos.
36 billion views.
Views of videos that focus or use the word rizz.
Is this a single Z or double Z?
Two Z's. R-I-Z-Z.
R-I-Z-Z.
네.
Okay.
So if you have rizz, 명사로 보통 쓰는데요. It's used mostly as a noun. It's also used as a verb. Like I said, I rizzed up somebody, right? So if you have rizz, that means you have charisma. You're able to sweet talk, a lot of people. You have a lot of that charisma.
Okay. It just something came across.
네.
Well, if you want to confess your love or somebody else,
Yeah.
you would say like this. Would you be would I be your rizz for your future?
그렇게는 안 될 것
그렇게
같아요.
안될것 같아요?
That is the wrong way to use rizz. No,
Okay.
everybody, do not use example that Dr. Liu
Okay.
mentioned. That is not the way to use rizz. Good try though. 저는 이 단어 잘 안 써요.
Uh-huh.
I knew what it meant before, but I don't find myself saying it
Okay.
because a lot of people here, even English speakers here,
Okay.
are not like in the know of the most trending, most used slang in America. Let's say,
Okay, I
right?
see.
So yeah, rizz is considered the word of the year. Is the word of the year by Oxford University Press. Okay.
Okay.
So now you know what rizz is a good thing. So somebody says, "Oh, Dr. Liu, he's got some rizz." 좋은 겁니다.
Okay, our listeners, I'm gonna read you up.
좋아요. 네, 그렇게 쓰는 겁니다. 좋아요. So I wanted to ask our listeners, talking about words of the year, what is your word of the year or expression of the year? What word or saying do you find yourself using a lot this year? I told you I was going to share mine, right? So my most used word or expression of the year is 엄마한테 물어봐. Doctor, do you use that often? 엄마한테 물어봐.
My wife sometimes nags at me like this.
네.
여보는 맨날 하는 말이 배고파 아니면은 화장실 가야 돼.
네.
네. 그 세 가지.
So those are your words / phrases of the year.
Yes. Hungry.
배고파?
I need to go to the bathroom.
화장실 가야 돼.
I want to hit the sack.
And I'm 잘 거다.
싶어.
자고 싶어, right? Well, Dr. Yu, it just goes to show you just how hardworking and how tired you are all the time. And how maybe constipated you might be, right? If you have to go to the bathroom so much. 저는 저는 이게 귀찮아서 엄마한테 물어봐 하는 절대로 아니고요. 그만큼 저희 와이프가 저보다 더 아니까. 네.
저도 그래요.
She's more like trendy, more up to date with what especially like kids like and what kids know. I learn so many things from my daughter. That's why I find myself lacking so much. 요즘 이제 아이를 키우려면 공부해야 돼요. Not like reading books on raising your kids. I'm talking about like words, like slang they use, characters and cartoons they watch these days, what's trendy and what's like old. 그런 거 엄청 공부해야 돼요.
맞아요.
So my wife very trendy, very in the know of some of these things. 그래서 제가 엄마한테 물어봐 좀 자주 쓰는 말인 것 같습니다. We have 토끼님 saying 제일 많이 하는 말 회사에서 항상 하는 말 집에 가고 싶다. 집에 가고 싶다. Do you use that saying often? 집에 가고 싶다?
저는 집에 가고 싶다고 안 하고요. 그냥 눕고 싶다, 자고 싶다.
그렇죠.
네.
저는 집에 가고 싶다보다 집이 최고다. 자주 쓰게
there's
돼요.
no place like home.
There's no place like home. I don't really think it when I'm outside, but I feel it when I arrive home. 진짜 집이 최고다라고 I find myself also saying that a lot. You also say 남편이랑 싸울 때는 내가 언제 그랬는데 많이 한대요. 내가 언제 그랬는데. 근데 이거 쓰면 저도 진짜 할 말 없어요. 왜냐면 remember 이렇게 못 하거든요. 그때 그래 했잖아. 저는 기억을 잘 못해서 I can't use it.
In my office, I communicate with my workers with some kind of a message channel.
So you have like a record.
Yes, we have our kinds of records, and sometimes
Smart.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, did I say that? And then one of the coworkers usually often capture the screen and then send it back to me. And then here's the proof. And so
Here's the proof.
Yes.
Here's the evidence,
Yes,
Dr. Liu.
you said that it's okay to do something like that.
까먹을 수도 있죠.
네, 까먹을 수도
right?
있죠.
Forget.
I miss the
right?
까먹기.
Well, Dr. Yu, thank you so much for sharing your words of the year. 토끼님, thank you so much. Rizz is considered the word of the year by Oxford University Press. All right, time is now 7:25. Ooh, where did the time go? Let's get to today's 인싸의학. Time for 인싸의학 with our resident certified doctor, Dr. Liu in the house. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. You know what? I just noticed that I need to do some tattoo over my eyebrows because on the screen, my eyebrows, it's like I couldn't see my eyebrows.
Dr. Liu, you know we could CGI that in?
Uh-huh.
Let me know. Next time you want eyebrows, I could draw in some eyebrows on the screen for you.
Okay, please.
근데 얼굴 움직이면 안 돼요.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
왜냐면 그 이미지를 화면에 고정시켜야 되는데 it's weird if your face keeps moving but your eyebrows are staying still. 다음 주 준비할게요.
Okay.
네. Dr. Liu joining us for today's 인싸의학. Let's get to today's 아재 개그 first because I know you've been waiting for this moment all
yes.
week.
아재 개그. Actually, I'm running out of my 아재 개그 story.
Oh no.
Oh no, yes. Last week I talked about 보수동. 보수동 means repair, and then 보수 means salary, and 보수 means yes. 그렇죠. 그래서
네.
했고요. 오늘은 I'm going to give you some quiz.
Okay.
What is the most apologetic fruit in Korea?
Most apologetic fruit?
Yes. 이거 답이 Korean이에요.
한국말로요?
Yes.
미안? 죄송?
Fruit.
I know.
One of
I'm
the
trying
fruits.
to think of a fruit that has like 미안 or 죄송 in it. 쏘리?
Sorry.
아닌데. 뭐지? 미안 죄송? No. Am I on the right track? Direct direction?
A little bit.
No, I'm not on the right.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know, Dr. What is a fruit? What is the sorriest fruit?
Yes.
In
Apologetic
Korea?
fruit.
Most apologetic fruit in Korea 무엇입니까?
Well, one of my all-time favorite fruit is apple. 사과.
아, 사과. 아, 왜 그걸 생각 못했지? 사과합니다.
예.
네.
사과해 주세요.
아, 두둥.
네.
Good one. I'm gonna remember that one. That was good. That was good.
Okay.
Dr. Liu, today's 인싸의학. What is the topic?
Okay. Today I'm gonna talk about AIDS and HIV. AIDS.
I don't think we've ever talked about this on our segment.
No, 이게 제가 가지고 온 이유가요.
네.
12월 달이었는데
네.
the first day of December is observed by World Health Organization.
Okay.
즉
by the WHO.
WHO. 그래서 WHO에서 첫 번째 날 12월을 에이즈의 데이로 해가지고
World AIDS Day.
World AIDS Day 맞습니다. 그래서 에이즈에 대한 경각심을 일깨워주는데 경각심뿐만 아니라 잘못된 편견을 깨기 위해서 오늘 그래서 여러분들이 에이즈에 대해서 듣고 나서 너무나 놀라지 마시길. You know, I remember when I was young, maybe about 40 years ago, when AIDS first came to this world, I read an article, news at the time, that we are going to face our doomsday because there's no cure, there's no medicine for this one. Almost everybody dies. So at that time, doctors went crazy. Well, not only doctors, but all the people at that time were really how can I say, very terrified.
Yeah.
Where is the world coming to and things like that.
When they first discovered
right.
something like AIDS, yes.
Yeah, but these days, AIDS is considered to be like a little bit like a controllable.
Yeah.
Like a long time controllable and almost treatable disease. 그래서 에이즈가 걸린다 하더라도 살 만큼 살아요. You know the famous basketball player Magic Johnson?
Magic Irvin Johnson, yes.
Yes, he's still alive.
Yeah.
그 사람이 테스트 포지티브 나왔던 게 1991년도예요.
For AIDS?
에이즈로 나왔던 게.
Okay.
그럼 91년도, 그러니까 90년도, 2001년도, 2011년도, 2022년도 30년 동안 살고 있고
네.
실제로 또 에이즈에 대한 약들도 많이 나오고 해서
Yeah.
네.
I think Magic Johnson, like big success story of a person that, got treated for AIDS because Like now, because I'm a fan of basketball, he's on a lot of like TV shows. He's very active as a commentator and everything for basketball. So it just goes to show you just how people can, I guess, beat AIDS. So it is possible, right?
맞습니다.
So AIDS is something that I always got confused with HIV. I always thought those two were the same, and then there was a time where, okay, you contract HIV first, and then it becomes AIDS, and then I flipped it around. You get AIDS first, and then it's HIV. What is the difference between the two? Can you define each of them, AIDS and HIV?
오케이, 제가 말하려고 했는데 어떻게 내 마음을 아셨어요?
앞에 바로 원고가 있습니다. Sorry to break, this image or dream that you had.
예, 근데 정말 구수범 있었어요. 영화관. HIV는 stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. HIV 그 인간 면역 결핍 바이러스고요. AIDS는 acquired, 즉 획득된 후천적으로 immune deficiency syndrome이라고 해요. HIV는 그냥 바이러스만 얘기를 하는 거고 바이러스가 들어와도 그냥 가지고 사는 사람들이 있어요.
오케이.
피 검사 해서 이상이 아무 증상도 없고 기침도 없고 아주 완전 healthy individual이에요.
오케이.
근데 이 사람이 병이 걸려가지고 면역이 없어졌을 때를 그때로 AIDS, Human Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome이라고 하는 거죠. So carrying HIV refers to a virus that can destroy our immune system, but AIDS means the condition where people are in ailments are very prone to a lot of infections and a lot of cancers.
And so AIDS standing for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. I remember, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, you mentioned that, like disease names with the word syndrome at the end is usually a condition or something where they don't have like treatment for it. They don't have they don't have like medicine for it. So it's not treatable right now with modern medicine.
That's right.
I remember.
그렇죠. 신드롬이라는 게 붙으면은요 어떤 증상들을 묶어놓은 그런 것들을 말하는 거죠. 어떤 디지즈를 어떤 for instance, Parkinson's. As a neurologist, I get to see lots of Parkinsonism patients. Parkinson disease and Parkinson's syndrome. There are two different kinds of entities. One is disease is caused by some neurological kind of defect in our brain, but the syndrome is the all kinds of symptoms collection under one of the umbrella, which is shares some common symptoms. 그래서 신드롬이라는 거는 이제 아까 얘기했듯이 증상이 있는 거고 HIV는 그냥 바이러스만 뜻하는 거고.
I see. So then, having HIV, does that mean? I mean, if you leave it like untreated, does that always turn into AIDS?
Not always.
Oh, okay.
그래서 그런 거죠. HIV가 들어왔는데 그걸 가지고 평생 살아가면서 증상이 없을 수도 있는데 가지고 있다가 증상 when it gets activated and it raises its ugly head, in that case you might end up having HIV related AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. 그래서 AIDS referring to the condition where our immune system gets compromised by HIV. 그래서 이것이 나중에 AIDS로 진행이 된다는 거죠. HIV는 바이러스고 AIDS는 질병이고.
근데 AIDS 시작이 HIV잖아요.
그렇죠.
Okay, then how did HIV like start? Can they pinpoint like a time or a place or situation where HIV kind of like was created or came into the world?
그렇죠. When first COVID-19 was introduced or discovered, the scientists are trying to find out where is the origin of this virus. The same goes here. HIV가 어디서 왔느냐? And many scientists believe that this kind of HIV might be used to be existing in some other populations of monkeys or chimps or some kind of a monkey kind of mammals in Africa. But 하지만 사람들이 이런 그런 침팬치나 이런 멍키 쪽에 가가지고 음식을 먹는다거나 그 동물들을 잡아 먹는다거나 동물들의 피와 섞임으로 인해 가지고 butchering by butchering them and eating them and then people came in contact with the virus. Yes. 그래서 그런 동물들한테는 질병을 안 일으키는 그러한 바이러스인데 우리 몸에 들어와가지고 질병을 일으키는 거죠.
I see. Actually, that story that you just mentioned, I didn't know that was something that was like backed by like a good number of scientists. I thought it was like maybe like a myth or like a taboo, but this is something that a lot of scientists do believe that it originated from like the mixing of, let's say, like you mentioned, like animals like monkeys and chimps.
Maybe interspecies.
Yeah, so like blood, especially mixing with humans, right? Interesting. So maybe not the exact reason, but scientists, especially these days, can agree that that might be where the source it started. What are the symptoms of HIV then, or AIDS?
그렇죠. When you first contract HIV, there's no symptoms.
Okay. Yeah.
그렇죠. Yeah. Latent period이라고 그러죠. 그러니까 잠복기라고 그러죠. 잠복기에는 우리가 에이즈를 디텍트를 할 수도 없을 수가 있어요. 그래서
unless you do like a blood test?
Even if you get the blood test, there's no way to find out whether you contract the virus or not.
Okay.
처음에는 이게 그 감염이 됐는지를 볼 수 있는 게 없거든요. 그래서 요즘에는 점점 계속 빨리 early detection 하려고 과학자들이 많이 연구를 하는데 옛날에는 그게 안 돼서 there were some cases that people contract the virus through transfusion without knowing that.
Really?
예, 이런 경우도 있어요.
네.
그래서 그런 게 문제가 돼서 그런 스토리를 경험한 적도 있었고. 그래서 blood transfusion으로 감염되는 경우 그런 트래직한 경우도 많이 봤었어요.
Okay, so there are a lot of these very unfortunate incidents where people maybe they didn't have HIV, but through these blood transfusions, that's how they got HIV into their system. So let's say HIV, it depends on the person, depends on their conditions. It changed into AIDS, let's say. What are the symptoms of AIDS then? I'm curious.
그렇죠. 처음엔 증상이 없다 그랬죠. 근데 이게 하지만 when it gets activated, it destroys our immune system, resulting in some kind of a canker sore on our mouth or a cavity, and even in our genital area, and also even skin sore, skin kind of a canker, some ulcerative lesions over our skin, and then when it gets when it invades other parts of our organs like lungs and kidneys and certain part of our brain, and then it might show symptoms like showing dementia, and also in case of lung, it may present with pneumonia or some other sepsis, which means our immune system cannot fight against other germs, so that's why our body gets compromised. So bleeding and in fever, and it might end up dying. Yes, those are the symptoms.
Like sores, not only in your mouth but throughout your body, and then bleeding for sure. Like if you see those symptoms, you have to go to the hospital right away anyway. But those are signs, I'm sure. But out of many that possibly it could be AIDS, right?
Yeah, that's right. And also AIDS are related to many kinds of cancers. That's why it can cause cancers.
Interesting. Okay, so AIDS linked to cancers, even different types of cancers. Oh, see, I had no idea about AIDS. From what I learned when I was a kid, right? Obviously, medical information being very updated now. When I was a kid, I just knew, I was taught that it was a sexually transmitted disease, and most people, except for some, like let's say Magic Johnson, right? Like you mentioned, most people, there's no treatment for it, and they succumb. Basically, they could die from it. Usually leads to people dying from the condition.
Okay, speaking of sexual contact, what is the rate of contracting AIDS virus by regular kind of how can I say normal or kind of regular? Regular means I don't know how to choose the proper words, but it's kind of a 남자 여자의 그냥 for fertilization.
Okay.
Of course. What are the chances?
and one of those partners, let's say, has AIDS,
HIV,
right? So the rate
positive.
of you can. I always thought, and this is something that I learned as a kid too, that it's like just if you have, let's say, unprotected intercourse.
Oh, that's right.
You just automatically you get it too. So 100%.
Yes, I thought so
네.
before studying or before reviewing this article. kind of less than 1%.
Less than 1% is your chance of contracting the virus, AIDS, if you have intercourse with somebody that's affected by it. That is totally different from what I learned as a kid.
저도 그래요. 저도 그렇게 생각을 했었어요.
네.
그래서 I've seen not many. I've seen several patients throughout my practice medicine's career. I saw several of patients with HIV positive.
네.
So yes, at first I was really afraid because, like you said, when I was a kid, I was kind of brainwashed. The AIDS is the very very contagious disease. But after studying a little bit articles, and then it kind of enlightens me. 그래서 여러분들이 알았으면 하는 게 에이즈 환자, HIV 포지티브 환자들이 다 에이즈가 있는 게 아니고 에이즈하고 정상적인 unprotected 즉 그 성관계를 했었을 때 감염이 될 확률은 1%도 안 된다는 거를 알았으면 좋겠는데 하지만 왜 어떻을 때 어떤 섹슈얼 인터코스가 가장 위험하게 되냐면은 regular intercourse our body produces a lot of lubricants which means very smooth and very not hurting somebody else's skin. 하지만 some other parts of our body for instance our anus at that part the lining cell of that part doesn't produce any. It doesn't have any secretion material.
Okay.
So in that case, the skin might be easily gets broken.
So tears that could happen, and then when there's blood being exposed.
Yes, right.
Okay, that makes sense.
그래서 되는 거죠.
네. So, doctor, you mentioned those unfortunate incidents with like blood transfusions happening and people contracting, HIV and AIDS through that. Those are also examples like you just mentioned. This is also a myth that maybe you could help answer. Even like sharing of food, or like even like exchange of saliva. Let's say like even like something like a kiss, right? Through that somebody can attract HIV or AIDS. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's not true.
It's not true.
Not true. 침이 섞인다고 해서 걸리지가 않아요. 거의 안 걸려요.
So
almost zero.
Almost 0%.
But there's a possibility, but almost zero.
Yeah. Let's say there's like blood in the saliva. Then it changes, right?
It changes. But 그런 경우에도 viral load가 너무 작거나 negligible한 경우에도 별로 안 걸려요.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is something that I like knew as a kid, or I was taught as a kid, and I just never was updated on that from here on out, right?
그래서 제가 우리 정리할게요.
네.
You cannot get the infection through ordinary contacts like hugging, kissing, dancing, or shaking hands, and sharing food. But sharing food is not good for both of you and your friends, your family members.
Yeah.
그래서 우리 요즘에는 이게 음식을 같이 나눠 먹지 않죠. 왜냐면
맞아요.
안 먹는 게 좋아. 왜냐면은 뭐 H 파이로라이라 그래가지고 우리나라 헬리코박터로도 이게 감염도 될 수도 있고 하는데 결국은 정상적인 생활하는데 전혀 문제가 없다. 이렇게 알면은 되겠고 또 제가 시간이 없는 관계로 잠깐 말씀드리겠는데 I read an article before the show. Among OECD, Korea's suicide rate is increasing. Well, we are the top of the OECD nations when it comes to suicide rate for the past 20 years consecutively.
Yeah. So sad.
예, 젊은 사람들도 많은데 HIV 사람들이 가장 겪는 것이 육체적인 것보다 social prejudice거든요.
그렇죠. It was like considered very taboo before.
이게 not only I told you sexual context, but also the 타투에서도 하소도 걸릴 수 있겠고요. 예, 그다음에 조금 아까 얘기했듯이 이 수혈이라든지 다른 것에 의해서 걸리는 그런 경우도 많기 때문에 그다음에 또 요즘엔 또 다양성도 인정해 주는 것도 있고 사람들 갖다 결국은 그 사람들이 겪었던 그런 걸 중요한 게 그 사람들이 환자고 그 사람들을 도와줘야 된다는 거. 를 알았으면 좋겠고 그다음에 요즘엔 HIV가 걸린다 하더라도 약이 워낙 좋아서 우리가 정상적으로 건강한 삶을 살아갈 수 있고 한다는 점을 알았으면 좋겠습니다.
Yeah. So, Dr. Yu, I'm very glad that we covered this topic. Like we said, this shouldn't be something that's considered taboo because this is AIDS is something that people are actually dealing with in our society. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but this is something that could be found in Korea. More so places like Europe and in the U.S. It's I'm sure numbers wise because we're still considered a smaller country. There's more patients with HIV/AIDS over there. But I think as a society we should be in the know that this is also something that is out there. You should be have information on it as like in terms of prevention measures, like you just mentioned too. Thank you so much for filling us in on AIDS.
많은 사람들한테 도움이 됐으면 좋겠고요.
네.
하지만 항상 예방이 최우선입니다. 프로텍티브한 섹슈얼 인터코스가 중요하겠고 그다음에 퍼스널 하이진 아주 중요하다라는 걸 말씀드리겠고 아픈 사람들은 우리가 도와줘야 될 사람이지 don't be judgmental to somebody who are in needy situation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yu. That will do it for today's 인싸의학. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
네, 감사합니다.
Let's take a quick song break. This is Mayor Hawthorne with Cosmic Love.
If I had $1 for every dream of you and me, I'd buy myself a rocket and shoot into your galaxy. There wouldn't be no parts unknown. I'd search every uncharted zone. And when it's time to come back home, I'll send you my antenna is pointed at my cosmic love. You're my cosmic love. From the stars above, you're mine. Ooh, you're my cosmic love. Incoming transmission, I'm crashing through your atmosphere. There's no interference. No, I'll read you down and loud and clear. Because you're my cosmic love. You're my cosmic love. From the stars above, you're mine. Ooh, you're my cosmic love. My cosmic love from up above. You are the one I'm thinking of. My cosmic love. My cosmic love from up above. You are the one I'm thinking of. My cosmic love. My cosmic love. My cosmic love from up above. You are the one I'm thinking of. My cosmic love. You're my cosmic love from up above. You're mine.
푸짐한 선물을 원하십니까? 인싸의학 부산이 준비한 소중한 선물. Full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie. a gourmet restaurant in Geojae-dong and Yeonsan-dong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리즈에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. 런지 10세트. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 회원님 끝까지 집중하셔야 돼요. 언제나 마시는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery. Coffee voucher and a pack. A fresh coffee whole beans. Sponsored by Into Roastery in 양산. 운동 중인데 향이 좋네요. 자, 회원님 다음 암풀다운 핫돌. A delicious meal voucher from Gorilla Brewing Busan. 광안 branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 자, 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. 자, 회원님 마지막 덤벨 85kg. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 끝까지 해야 됩니다. 끝까지. 자, 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 회원님 수고하셨습니다. 네, 재밌는 방송 IOB와 함께 선물은 덤으로 지금 바로 참여하세요. 후하 후하.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Time for our final segment of the day, quote unquote. Today, I bring a quote from the great Aristotle. And the quote reads, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." Okay. So I brought this because today we're talking about, words and phrases that we find ourselves saying often, right? We say as a habit. So this quote emphasizes the power of consistent actions in shaping who we are. And this concept extends to the language that you use as well. The words and phrases we repeatedly use can significantly shape our thinking, emotions, and how we interact with the world. For instance, if somebody habitually uses positive and optimistic language, it can foster a more positive outlook on life. Flip side of that, if we use negative or self-deprecating words, this can really impact our self-perception as well as our overall mindset. 그냥 positive-하게 생각 안 하게 하는 거죠, the words we use. So I looked at this quote and I thought, like I mentioned with our listeners, what word or phrases do you find yourself saying often? Like I said, for me, it's 엄마한테 물어봐 to my daughter because I speak with my daughter every day. But is that maybe, I'm not saying, I just giving up or I just don't want to bother talking with my daughter, but is that something that I would back up? Is that something that conveys my thoughts? No, I do have an interest in my daughter. Why don't I show that in not only my actions, but also the words I speak? So rather than saying, 엄마한테 물어봐, maybe I could change that into, well, let's find out together, right? 왜 그럴까? 같이 한번 알아보자. So like I said, words can also change how we think, change how we feel, change how we act. Words being a habit. And according to Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So, yeah, hopefully this inspires our listeners to make excellence not an act, but a habit. And you could definitely do that through the words you use. Something to think about. That was today's quote, unquote, and that will do it for today's show. Thank you so much to all of our listeners. Thank you so much to everybody that participated in today's program. Our last track by one of my favorite hip-hop groups, A Tribe Called Quest. This is We Got the Jazz, We Got the Jazz. Enjoy the rest of your night. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Have a good one.
Stern, firm, and young with a laid-back tongue. The aim is to succeed and achieve at 21. Just like Ringling Brothers, our days in astound. Captivate the mass cause the prose is profound. Do it for the strong, we do it for the meek. Boom it in your Jeep or your Honda or your Beamer or your Legend or your Benz. The rave of the town to your foes and your friends. So push it along, trails we blaze. don't deserve the gong, don't deserve the praise. The tranquility will make you unball your fist before we put hip hop on a brand new twist. A brand new twist with a whole heap of mystic. So low key that you probably missed it, but yet it's so loud that it stands in the crowd. When the guy takes the beat, they bowed. So raise up, squire, adjust your attire. We have no time to wallow in the mire. If you're on a foreign path, then let me do the lead. Join in the essence of the cool out breed. You cool out to the music cause it makes you feel serene with the birds and the bees and all those groovy things like getting stomach aches when you gotta go to work or staring into space when you're feeling berserk. I don't really mind if it's over your head cause the job of resurrectors is to wake up the dead. So pay attention, it's not hard to decipher, and after the horns you can check out the viper.
Competition, them try to come sideways, but competition, them must come straight way. Competition, them try to come sideways, but competition, they must come straight way. How's about that? It seems like it's my turn again. All through the years, my mic has been my best friend. I know some brothers wonder, can Piper really kick it? Some even wanna diss me, but why sweat it? I'm all into my music cause that's how I make tapes. Try to make hits like Kid Capri makes tapes. Me sweat another, I do my own thing. Strictly hardcore tracks, not a new jack swing. I grew up as a Christian, so to God I give thanks. Collect my banks, listen to Shabba Ranks. I sing and chat, I do all of that. It's 1991 and I refuse to come back. I take off my hat to other crews that tend to rock, but the low end theory's here. It's time to wreck shop. I got Tip and Shot, so whom shall I fear? Stop, look, and listen, but please don't stare. Suggest to the store and buy the LP on Drive RCA, cassettes and CDs, produced and arranged by the four-man crew. And oh, Skeff Anselm, he gets props too. Make sure you have a system with some fat house speakers so the new hit can rock from Boston Master Pequa. Cause where I come from, quality is job one, and everybody.